Hey, this is Matt Urtz, the Madison County historian. We are continuing to talk to people about how COVID-19 has impacted their, businesses, their organizations. We're really lucky today to have Suzanne Collins of the Hamilton Food Cupboard with us. Suzanne, for those that aren't familiar, can you explain what the Hamilton Food Cupboard is?
We're a food pantry in Hamilton, and there's food pantries in most small areas. There's one in Earlville, Morrisville. We have a satellite in Madison, and we give out food once a month, generally once a month. We give a 5-day food supply to people that are in need. So they can come in and they go through, we're a client choice, so they can come in and and we were until March 16th client choice. So they would come in and pick out food, the food that they needed. And the food bank does a really good job of giving us a kind of a template to use and how much they would get based on their family size.
Okay. How many people did you serve prior to the COVID-19 pandemic in a typical month?
So we serve approximately 150 families a month, and that kind of fluctuates based on what's going on. If there's oil bills, and during the colder months we may see a little bit more. In the summer months we may not see as many. We do a summer lunch program too, so we offset the families that have school-age kids. We give them boxes of food that they pick up once a week to prepare at home. So it really is based on what's happening in the environment, I think.
So do you work with partners locally in the community, like the schools or different places like that, or are you kind of independent?
We're independent in a way, but we definitely work with the school. The school is very good they're really good to us. The Hamilton Teachers Association helps fund our summer lunch program. The kids at school will do food drives quite frequently throughout the year. So they've done a really great job with that. And, they'll reach out every once in a while, or I'll reach out to them for different things. We also have a good relationship with Madison Lane, which is a senior housing in Hamilton. And we've set up, I work with Sammy Martinez, and we set up two small food pantries right at Madison Lane. So, who knew it would work out so well? We did that last year. We got a really generous donation from Community Foundation, and it allowed us to buy some shelving and refrigerators to have over there. So we stock that once a month, which has been really great. But I do reach out, communicate with nearby pantries too, just to check in and see, see how things are going.
And are you guys an all volunteer organization, or do you have paid staff?
I'm the paid director, and then it's all volunteers from there. Yeah.
Okay. So talk about, you mentioned March 16th, everything changed. Talk about how COVID-19 has impacted your organization.
Yeah, so like I said before, we were a client choice is what it's called. So people could come in and, it was just like grocery shopping. They could pick what they wanted, pick and choose what they wanted. And on the 16th, on March 16th, was just when everything was changing. And so really quickly we put up signs and changed everything over so we were only allowing one person in, one family member in at a time, and we would stop them at the door. We set up a table, and then we would pick out their food. They could say what they wanted, and we would pick that out for them and bag it up. So we were trying to limit the amount of people that we had in the food pantry. We're very, very small. Our building is pretty small. So we did that right off the bat. And then, I had come in and cleaned everything and sterilized everything and Clorox wiped every doorknob and chair, that we have. But then on March 22nd, almost a week later, that we stopped even having people come in the food pantry. And then we set up a table outside and we went to prepackaged pre-boxed food. So what we're doing now is we're boxing up food for families that are over four and over, and then families that are under four members, family members.
Okay.
So we've been doing that, and then we'll supplement. We box up everything except we give them, we have produce here, and we have cheese and eggs and meat and stuff. So we'll kind of customize that for them. We'll ask them if they want that, but it's kind of a quicker in and out, but they don't really have we try and give them a nice variety of stuff, and hopefully they will use it.
Okay. Has your demand gone up with this going on?
Well, the interesting part of that is that we have pretty much for this past couple of weeks, our demand has stayed the same, but we've lost our older population. Our senior citizens are not coming in anymore. And I think we had people that at Madison Lane that had, they would have cars, so they would just come over and pick out their stuff. And we have other people just in the community that are older, and they're just staying home. And Madison Lane, obviously they can pick up their stuff right there because we have the pantry set up there. So I think they're trying to stay away, but we have quite a few new families that have started coming. So, I mean, our numbers are kind of offset. And the other thing we've been doing is delivering. I think last month we did 18 deliveries, which that's just kind of unheard of.
Deliveries one person, or is that you go out and deliver 10 packages that are nearby each other?
Yeah, so what we try and do is do all the deliveries at around 4 o'clock, because they have a man that'll come in. He'll come in and he'll load up his car and take stuff, and then one of our volunteers that's here, she'll take stuff. So we kind of split it up between us, and then I'll take stuff out. So it just depends on when they need it. I mean, I've come in on a Saturday and packed up boxes and delivered it. But
how big is your service area? You mentioned you have a satellite in Madison, but you also said there's one in Earlville. So what kind of territory do you guys cover?
So our pantry is set up to cover the Hamilton and Madison school district.
Okay.
That's where we're at. And so there's a satellite pantry in Madison, and they're doing the same thing. They're pre-packing boxes, and they're open the last Saturday of the month.
Okay.
And then they also have started opening mid-month. It kind of depends on what day they pick, or how long the month is. But they are running 2 times a month right now.
Okay. If someone wanted to donate, or either their time, their money, or if they had food that they felt they could donate, how can they go about doing that right now?
So there's a lot of ways to do that. It really depends on the pantry in your area. Our food cupboard is very small, so we're limiting our volunteers right now that are in the food cupboard. So we only have, I have 2 other people that help me, and actually Greg is the third, and he'll come and he'll do the deliveries and stuff for us, and he's good about doing whatever we need. And then, but he works, so he comes in later. But it depends on your pantry and the area. I know that some pantries have a volunteer staff that is aging, because they have the time and they like to volunteer. So I've lost a lot of my older volunteers just because they feel like they need to stay home, which they do. So the delivery, when I get a food delivery, that's a little tricky, because now it's just my husband and I are unloading the truck. But that's also partly because I don't want to have too many people in here, because I don't want to jeopardize anybody, because it's such a small space. So it's kind of a double-edged sword, with the volunteer piece. We always, there's other pantries and other areas too that might need help. I think Earlville, they have a pretty good volunteer staff too, but I mean, just carrying boxes and moving boxes and stuff for deliveries are hard. Madison has a few good volunteers there, you know, but then you also lose the older population that are volunteers.
Yeah, that we spoke with someone this morning, and that's what she talked about. That
Yeah.
they had found they had to kind of get some younger volunteers in because the older ones either couldn't do it or were afraid to do
Yeah.
it.
Right. Right.
What about food or monetary donations?
Yeah. So monetary donations are always helpful. And that for us, we've had a really big community outpouring, and sadly, one of my volunteers who is just, I mean, I worked with him for 9 years. I think we're starting our 10th year together in January, and he got COVID and he passed away. So it was heartbreaking for me because he really was like my right hand guy, and he did a lot. I mean, he was emotionally supportive, and he was very supportive of everything that we did here, and would help anybody anytime. Patrons loved him, you know, volunteers loved him. So we've had a lot of donations in his memory, which is really lovely. I mean, he was wonderful. But a lot of the money is always, always, always great. And the other, because we have to purchase the food. I mean, all food pantries buy the food. We buy it from the food bank, and the food bank does an awesome job of providing it. But the other thing that we like to get is just donations of food that I mean, the food bank doesn't provide us with everything. You know, there's some stuff that we can't get, and some stuff that just you would like. I mean, if you might like a box of cookies at night or have a few cookies, and that isn't something that we're going to be able to get at the food bank, but it's something that's nice to be able to hand out to a family, or popcorn or something that's kind of special.
Okay.
So, I mean, we always love to have food donations, and we always love to have, obviously we love to have monetary donations.
Where can they find out how to do that? Do you have a website, a phone number?
Yeah, we have a website. We have a website. It's under Hamilton Food Cupboard, and there's a PayPal link on the website.
Okay.
And then so there's that. We have a PO box at the post office. It's PO Box 411 in Hamilton, and we have a Facebook page too. But the link is on the website.
Okay.
So. Yeah.
Thank you so much for taking the time to do this today. We greatly appreciate it. We see you again in better times, and hopefully we can get you some support.
Oh, great. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
We'll talk to you soon.
Have a good day. Okay, thanks.